Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and the Washington Commanders just lost to the Miami Dolphins and fall to 3-8 on the season. Let's talk about it in today's video. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe. We're like right there, close to 16,100 subscribers. Go ahead and do that like and all that good stuff. But hey, the Commanders lose, and there's not going to be an angry Commanders fan here, at least in the title. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily happy that they lost, but this was, at this point in the season, the Commanders are out of the playoffs, and this game is not super meaningful. And we'll talk about the draft implications a little bit later. But yeah, of course, you still want your team to do well. Commanders lose 13-16 in Madrid. The defense played pretty well in this game. A bunch of goal line stops. The offense, the offense was not so good today. And I mean, it's very understandable when you have your top guys out in Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, Jalen Lane, Luke McCaffrey. I mean, come on, man. Our number one receiver, Debo was there, but our next receiver was Chris Moore. And, that's never going to be, you're never going to be in a great situation when that's your number two receiver. I mean, the reality of the situation, guys, is the team right now is not, the team in general, even if it was healthy, not amazing. Your quarterback's out. A lot of the rest of your team is out. You're not going to win. Winning these games, especially when your team is so old, winning these games when, like I said, your team's old and none of the players that are contributing to the win are on the team, none of the players contributing to the win are young, it doesn't really do much for you. So getting to, the top draft pick possible for the Commanders, in my opinion, is the best way to go. I'm not saying, for the game, I'm, rooting for them super, super hard to lose, but at the same time, I'm not, cheering super hard. And, there were a couple of times where I'm like, all right, that's good for the draft pick. And I know a lot of people in the comments will, disagree with that big time, but all I'll say is, like, in a year or so when we have the top pick and he's hopefully balling out for us, you guys will have hopefully a different opinion for us. Just real quick, looking over some of the stats. Chris Rodriguez was good in this game, averaged 5.3 yards a carry. Mariota, 50 yards, 12.3 yards a carry, but it was really just one big run. Bill, it's not been good, man. It's not been good for Bill, and it's really telling when one running back does really well and Bill doesn't, and averaging 5 yards, 5.3, and then he's only averaging 3.1. Still got to give him time. He's young, but it's not looking too good, especially compared to early on in the season. Mariota was not good in this game, 20 for 30. I mean, he wasn't awful, but he wasn't good. He was in this game. 213 yards, 7.1 yards per completion. I think that's what this stat is. I think not per target. I don't know for sure. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, got sacked once. And there was a couple dropped interceptions, or at least one, in there. But Mariota didn't get the job done, especially at the end there. Ertz also slipped on goal line play. Should have gotten a touchdown there. Debo was good in this game, 74 yards, a touchdown on 7 catches. Ertz 4 for 42. But like I said, that goal line one, if he catches that's a touchdown. Chris Moore, Jacoby Jones, that was a sick route. That was a sick route by him. First career catch for him, 1 catch, 25 yards. That's a big catch for him. McNichols, whenever you need a big play, he makes them. That's all I'm going to say there. Bill didn't really do much. So that's really it on offense. And then, defensively, they were pretty good in this game. Allowed 16 points, including overtime. And, the yards might be a little bit higher than normal, but, for allowing 16 points. But they did a really good job, making goal line stands. So, the run defense was not that good. A-Chain had like 6 yards carry, but it usually does. Ollie Gordon, though, also had 5 yards carry. They held Waddle in check, only 52 yards. So they did pretty well. Dan Quinn, too little, too late, making that adjustment to being the defensive coordinator or calling the plays. Should have been done that, and they didn't, and it cost them some games. And not that they would have won those games, but it cost them definitely some points, and they would have made some more stops because this defense today was much better. The blitzes were better. They were getting more pressure. from guys. And, what, they had 3 sacks in this game. And, they had a cornerback sack with Jonathan Jones getting a sack. They had a sack from Jacob Martin, who's been a stud. Von Miller had a sack too. He hasn't done much this year, but he's gotten some sacks. Some of them are garbage time sacks, or not garbage time, but like kind of coverage sacks, or he didn't really have to do much. The quarterback goes into him, but he had a sack. Jordan McGee, good game, 5 tackles. Kinlaw had a good game. Frankie Louvu had a good game. Like, a lot of these defenders had good games, and it kind of shows what the scheme, switching up scheme and play calling, not necessarily scheme, but because you can't switch up a whole scheme just by the coordinator. When you still have the same kind of coaches on the roster, you're just switching the play caller. The scheme's going to be the same in terms of all the plays, but the certain play calls will be different that you call. So you're picking from the same options, but you're obviously picking different options. And Quinn did a really good job at that today, and the defense did really well. Like, I don't know someone that didn't have a bit like or someone who had a really bad game, like Quan Martin. I saw him miss some tackles. Jeremy Reeves, he had some tackles. I also saw him getting beat and miss some tackles as well. Bobby, same thing, but Bobby also made some plays. But on defense, Jordan McGee, at least early on the game, I thought he made some really nice tackles, like open field tackles. Kinlaw, I thought had a good game, and Frankie Louvu. Those are like my kind of 3 studs of the game on defense. Shout out Cam Madrano, nice kick return or punt return tackle. And then punt returning wise, Jalen got hurt, of course. This team does not get any breaks with injuries. And then Mikey Sanderstill goes back for a punt and muffs it. Not even close. Looked like a high schooler out there returning that punt. And yeah, he hasn't done that in a while, but he did it at Michigan, albeit 5 years ago. But also, Keim said, he tweeted out, Mikey's been practicing this every week. Like, he is one of the returners after Lane. He's the guy. So he's been getting practice. So there's no excuses, to be honest. He needs to, he's in the NFL. Yeah, you're not a receiver, but if you're practicing that every week, you got to make that catch. And he didn't. So honestly, if you're going to say why they lost the game, I mean, if you're pointing to one play, then, that's probably it right there with Mike Sanderstill. But there was a lot of other things that, cost them the game, the Ertz slip, and then just, not converting in the red zone at times, especially early on the game, going for field goals there. Matt Gay being absolutely awful, absolutely atrocious. He sucks, but I am happy he missed that kick at the end. He missed a 51-yarder and a 55-yarder. He sucks. Adam Peters, absolute flop of a signing by Adam Peters. I mean, you give him the most guaranteed money, I believe, by any kicker for 1 year. I believe that's what the deal was. And you get a guy that's probably the worst kicker, one of the 5 worst kickers in the league. And you gave him the most guaranteed money. So good job, Adam Peters, on that one. But, overall, it's not a terrible result, in my opinion, for the Commanders getting a better draft pick. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but real quick, a word from today's sponsor. And a huge shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you guys check them out. They got a bunch of good deals. You can get a free $20 entry. You can also use my code Pedro on Sleeper and get a 100% match up to $100. So let's say you put in 20, you'll get 40 total to make picks to win real money on Sleeper. So a bunch of different picks that you can make. There's college football tonight, tomorrow, and then obviously NFL on Sunday with the Commanders and Dolphins facing off early at 9:30 Eastern time, and there's some other games as well. So make sure you guys check out Sleeper. Link in the description for the promo code. Thanks again. And again, a huge shout out to Sleeper there. Make sure you guys check them out. But yeah, the Commanders, the season's over. You guys know that. And 6 games in a row that they've lost. Didn't mention that. Didn't even realize that, to be honest. And I think any talks of bringing back Jaden, do you really want to trot Jaden Daniels out there, with, Debo as his 1, Chris Moore as his 2, and Jacoby Jones as his 3? That is pathetic. That is the worst receiving core in the NFL by a landslide. I mean, you have guys that are legit practice squad guys at best. I mean, Jacoby Jones literally his first NFL catch today. And then Chris Moore is awful. I'm sorry. He's not good. And he's your number 2 because Jalen Lane's hurt. Who knows when he comes back. And even if he does, he's not. It's not like he's been lighting it up. He had 1 catch for 13 yards. It was early, though. Or he got hurt early. But, yeah, I mean, do you really want Jaden Daniels trotting out there? I would say I would rather not. I mean, give him as much time as possible. I heard talks about him coming back for the Broncos game. Let's get serious, guys. That's not the game to bring him back for. You have a bye this week, whatever. Regroup. Maybe get some guys back coming out of the bye. Maybe Terry's back. Maybe that's fine. Bring back Terry, whatever. But Jaden, for me, I would say hold him out as much as possible. Whatever his timetable is, let's say he's ready for the Broncos game. I would say give it another couple weeks and make sure he's fully good to go and that knee is fully healed, that hamstring is fully healed. Everything is fully healed. He is 100%. And in that case, you can give him a few games at the end of the season and that's fine. But again, at that point, what is the point? Is that really worth it? And do you risk him getting hurt again? Again, like I said, that my opinion is probably shut him down for the year. But, if they want to bring him back for the last few games of the season, it is what it is. But the Commanders right now, 3-8, and I know people don't love this. Again, like I said, some people are on the train, some people are not. By the end of the season, I think you guys will be on the train, but draft pick-wise, very good result for the Commanders. Not only do they lose against a not-so-good opponent, and that opponent goes above them. So I believe the Commanders were 9th-ish on the pick spot. Now they're at 8th, maybe 7th. And after today's results, that could change some things as well. You want a Bengals win here. I'm thinking about the other games. I mean, I guess Minnesota win, Tennessee win as well, Atlanta win. All those things help out. A Giants win would be good. But, again, I do understand the people that are just you know what, I want to win the game. That's what's most important. Okay, I get that. But at the end of the day, getting a good draft pick is important, and it does set you up for success. Like Greg Zuerlein, him missing that kick got us Jaden Daniels, got us the number 2 overall pick. And some people might say, oh, well, Drake May is better. First of all, I don't even know about that. I think both franchises are in good spots at the quarterback position. But, hey, even if you want to say that, guess what? We could have taken Drake at 2 anyways, but also, we wouldn't have been in position in the top 3 anyways if he made that kick. So that's all I'm saying is that, draft pick status or spot does matter. You still have to get the pick right, but you get the, better option than, picking at 10. Or you can also, because this roster does not have a lot of young talent, you can trade back from, let's say, 6. That's where, let's say they get the 6th overall pick. Trade back to 11. Still get a good player. Maybe still get a good receiver or an edge rusher. But you also get another 2nd round pick, a 3rd round pick, maybe a future 3rd as well. And you're just in a good spot to really rebuild this roster. But that's it for today's video. Don't really want to talk too much about the game. It really doesn't matter. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.